Hello and welcome to part 2 of my Let's Play with Manchester United on Football Manager 2015. Now, for those of you who missed the first episode, I'm sure it's in the playlist. For those who didn't, you know that I can only buy British, or at least try to buy British, and you also knew that I was worried about my anchorman role since we last played. So I have... Oh god, Chelsea just signed Verratti. And I don't think you saw it, but also Arsenal have signed Schneiderlin, I think. So we are looking at, through the looking glass, people. It's already going to be incredibly difficult to compete because I, as you can see, have unsettled Huddlestone. I have suggested I should try and buy him. Let's see if we can negotiate. I'm not going to pay that much. I'm going to pay 12 million. No, I'm not interested in that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And I'm going to say 12.5 million. Very reasonable considering the English premium. But yes, we need to go out. We need to get someone who can play that role, and where possible, it needs to be someone who is capable of. Let's just have a little. See if we can get this guy a bit down. Signing on fee's a bit generous, considering you're not going to be that good. But I suppose the agent wants to get as much out of this as possible. You're not going to be first team, so I don't know why you're even flogging that. There we go. Okay, so he's on a reasonable 52k a week. Is not that bad at all for a player, given that we're in a situation where we've got players on nearly 300k in Rooney and in Falcao, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But it does mean that we're automatically at a disadvantage again, because not only are we buying players that we require, but players that we could have bought, like Schneiderlin and Verratti, to fulfill that role, are going to our rivals, and they're obviously superior players by some distance. So we're losing twice over. I also wanted to sell Johnny Evans, but Johnny Evans is Northern Irish and a youth product, and I don't think I can afford to sell him because I'd have to go then and buy a replacement. So in the transfer market, I think if we say I'm going to use Raphael as my secondary right back and Jones as my first choice right back, and I'm going to blood Blackett and McNair, do I need to go and get a right back? I feel... You know what? I feel... Oh god, and Bonucci as well. Let's just give you the title then. Who else have we got? Who else has signed? I don't want to see what other people are doing. I just want to get my head down and hope we don't screw this up massively. So another thing to try as well would be to look at getting another... Do we need another right back? Daley Blind can play right back. Smalling, no he can't. I don't know why it says that. Valencia right back, I do not want that. See, I don't think we need Valencia necessarily, because I don't want Januzaj and Mata to go without game time, and I don't see how Valencia's going to... Thinking about it long term, I don't see how he's going to fit in. So how much is he valued at? Oh, he's transfer listed apparently. So Van Gaal had him transfer listed. Okay, I'll offer to clubs and try and get that out for him. Because he's a good player, but if we can get somebody else in, he'll probably be inferior, but that's not the point. And then we'll just quickly go on scouting and we'll see what we can do here. I'm not playing any pre-season matches, so this is going to be all about the transfers this window. So Huddlestone there, and I think we're going to go, and I think I'm going to go for Klein. I think we're going to go for Klein because it's between him and Coleman, and in my opinion, I actually prefer Klein. I know a lot of people prefer Coleman. Those people tend to be Irish, and they tend to be Everton supporters, or both. But I really rate Klein, so I'll be happy with him in real life. So let's go. Ooh, he's linked with Tottenham as well, so you know he's good on this game. We've got a big budget as well. If we can offer 24.5, see, okay, we'll do what we did before. What we'll do: declare interest, and hopefully we'd love to make him part of the team, and hopefully Tom mates in the Guardian, and hopefully they'll. Here we go. To play for a team like Man United is what players dream about. And just to make that dream even more achievable in his eyes, we're just going to confirm the signing of Tom Huddlestone. I feel like I'm going to regret handicapping myself like this, but I don't know, it's more interesting. It's more interesting trying to win the league with Huddlestone in your team than with Pogba or someone like that. So that's the world we live in. But I imagine that's the sort of transfer people immediately thinking, oh, Moyes 2.0. He's gone and bought Huddlestone. Nobody would have bought Huddlestone. all this sort of stuff. No offers for Valencia. Not many people wanting Valencia. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep him. I'm not willing to let him go for less than 10 million, and I don't think it's worth. I could just hold on to him. I think I'll make him a backup because and then I'll give him more football, and then he'll be even happier. So that's brilliant. The training camp in America is on its way. Oh, it's underway, sorry. And we'll just quickly go on scouting, and then we'll just quickly. I don't want to be one of those teams that links itself, destabilizes players, and then doesn't follow up. So wanted, yeah, he wants us to make a bid. He's reacted well to the idea of joining us, and I think if we make now an opening bid of 8.5, just under 8.5, his value essentially, and see what they do with it. Because the next move is, and I am being a dickhead here, if they reject it, you might have a situation where Klein and his agent start playing around, and then that way we'll get him even cheaper. So Tom is a fine player, Jesus. I don't want to comment on whether or not he's going to have any impact. Yes, I'd expect us to have some more impact. What Huddlestone doing here? He's reacted well, so he's glad I didn't over-egg him. Please rejoin United, please, with my comments. Happy with training. Well, you haven't trained yet, mate, and you are pretty known for being a lazy shit, so that's probably suited him down to the ground. Right. Pleased to seal the deal. Hopefully we'll do well in Seattle and in Sporting Kansas, and we'll be able to move on. And I'm hoping that we can sign Klein in this episode, because it would be nice to get a few signings on board. What do you think of Klein? What do you think of Huddlestone joining? Obviously, Huddlestone will have to play the William Carvalho role in the absence of actually signing William Carvalho or anyone as good. Did I make the right choice with Huddlestone? Is there another English player I should have gone for? Would it have been funnier for me to go to Falcao? That's the thing here with Klein. I think we're probably going to go with Klein because he's sort of the outstanding candidate for the right-back position if you're only allowed to buy English players. So here we go. So the bid was rejected, but Nathaniel Klein facing uncertain future after the row with the manager. He's furious at not being allowed to join Man United, despite Koeman informing Koeman he wanted to sign with them in order to play for a bigger club. So, now we're going to make an £8.5 million offer. Oh, interesting. They've dug their heels in now. So what I'm going to do is offer 10 million, and I want to say non-negotiable. I wasn't going to try and sign. I didn't want to pay 25 million for him, so this is going to be a very exciting transfer saga. Hopefully we'll get him on the final day and we'll rush him over in our helicopter, Mata-esque style. He'll sign a contract like Berbatov in the early hours. People will be celebrating the fact that we signed a right back that we don't necessarily need. Yep, the glory days are coming back with Jamie FM. One thing I've noticed about this game already is it seems the very smooth graphic design. I don't know. There's quite. I liked 14, but I think this automatically it feels more. I don't know. I want to say feels more realistic, but it seems a ridiculous thing to say because I know it's a simulation, and the other simulations are just as realistic. But I think I don't know. It feels like I'm dealing with a modern world. The agents seem to be demanding massive fees. Players are holding their own in contract negotiations. Like never before. I don't know. I don't know, guys. What did you think when you first played 2015? So we should probably see how we did in the first... Oh, here we go. So Klein now foolish to turn down a Red Devils. They're after Gökhan Gönül. Now, he's arguably better than Klein, so I don't know what they're doing here. The bid was rejected. The £10 million bid was rejected because that was non-negotiable. He's unhappy. No positives. He doesn't even look that good, but we're going to push for him because we need players. So, let's say 10 million negotiable. Now they want 61 million, so obviously they're taking the piss on purpose. So why don't we go for 12 million? Well, they're disappointed with the bid, but it's better. It's better than 60, that's for sure. I'm not going to pay 60. I'm not going to meet them in the middle at 35. I mean, I'm happy to wait for a year. So, it's very much a case of hoping that they run out of... No. I think probably the eyes they sign Gokko Null, and then that means Klein's obviously value is important. I mean, I'm willing to spend out 18 million so maybe on him. I don't know, 15. I mean, the thing that would push my bidding up would be if Tottenham made a bid, but Tottenham haven't made a bid even though they're interested in him, because Tottenham are interested in Gönül as well, the other Turkish right back. So as far as I'm concerned, I have no reason why I would back out of negotiations or force myself into them. So that's good. We won 3-1 in Seattle. Let's see how we did. Don't load in a hurry, guys. Bloody hell. This is the problem with my microphone and my laptop. Absolutely appalling, guys. Really apologise for this. Just going to quickly check to see this. What do you guys do when Football Manager's loading? I remember when it used to load even worse than this. I used to do my homework in between the bloody loading time. So Ashley Young twice and Nick Powell. I was completely forgot he existed actually. So that's really interesting. An 8.8 from Ashley Young. Go on then, let's have a look at these. Let's view these goals. Only our goals, obviously. I don't care about Mickey Diaz. That's a ridiculous name. See, Ashley Young might become, much like he was for LVG, he might become a little player that's more and more important because he's coming into his peak. He's got something to prove because he isn't in the England squad. He's going to probably play games for me because we play with wingers, out-and-out wingers, and he is an out-and-out winger that can play either side. He could, in theory, play the shadow striker role if we had an injury crisis up front, because he played that role just before Man United signed him, and he said we there, yeah, but might as well. We signed him. Just before we signed him, he played that shadow striker role for Aston Villa, just behind, I think it was John Carew at the time. And let's just speed this up a little bit, if the computer won't kill me for doing it. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, he's an interesting player, Ashley Young, especially considering how crap he was under Moyes. So okay, that seems like a routine goal. Okay, next one. Blind. Ashley Young. Okay, so Blind doing well. Young. Oh, ooh, okay. Oh, I thought he was going to score from there. I was like, okay, that would have been more impressive. Yeah, I was like cutting in here. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, that's good. That's not too bad. And then we'll see this Nick Powell goal, just to see what happens. Oh, it's nice to see the youngsters getting a run out. Well done, Giggs, for doing my job for me. Not sure about Smalling at right back, but, you know, playing everyone. McNair, Blackett, you know, he's giving everyone a go. It's a nice little interplay from Januzaj. So Januzaj actually comes out there looking really well because he was influential in all those goals, so that's pretty cool. So yes, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can do all this nonsense with Klein outside of an episode. Get rid of all the pre-season, do all that, and then I'll join up with you guys when I've either bought Klein or pulled out of a deal. Probably finish my transfer business or be towards the end of concluding it, and then maybe be on course for that first game of the Premier League season, and then we'll watch that. So,